I doing here? Well, I'm going away for a bit of a wild camp, and although I'm loathed to film things like camping, for the various reasons, one of them being I prefer to relax when I'm camping and I don't want to be filming and I want to get away from technology, but I'll do it on this occasion because people keep asking on the channel. So I just thought I'd go through some of the things that I'm going to be taking for a very simple, straightforward one-nighter. So I've emptied the bag there and I'm going to go through some of the items. So first item, pretty simple. Pair of sensible gloves that you know aren't going to fall to bits. Now these aren't thermal, that's not the point, although I do have some thermal ones. These are just for cooking so you don't burn your hands and tying things and basic work. And that's all I need. I just go for a simple pair of, I think these are called Slim Fit or whatever, Mechanix. They're the cheap ones, that's all you need. But Mechanix I find are very thin, but they work and they don't fall to bits. So simple pair of gloves, put them over to one side. Space blanket, Mylar essentially. I could speak for an extended period of time on how these work. It's essentially a mirror to reflect heat back to the body that the body is letting out. Because believe it or not, throughout the whole of your body, you actually give away a lot of heat. That's the whole point of wearing thermal stuff, because it traps that heat. But this can be used for all sorts of things, but I'm not going to bore you by going into that. So put that over there. I'm also going to be taking some of these. Now these are these little cheeky things. So I mean, I will be taking something obvious like that, which is just a pack of hankies, as we call them in the UK, handkerchiefs. They're simply, it's wood fibre, but it's like toilet paper basically, because you do need to go to the toilet. But what you can also take is, and I find quite useful, are these. So just add water. So what do? So they're little tablets like that. Completely dry. You add a little bit of water, there you can see, add a little bit of water, and it comes out into a cellulose wet cloth, which is very, very handy after you've been cooking. I've even used that to wash pans and things like that, so they're very, very handy. But you need to keep them in a sealed tube like that, and they weigh hardly anything, and 100% biodegradable, natural, no chemicals, compact. I don't know about reusable. I don't know how many times they're reusable, but okay, they're spot on, so pop that over there. I'll also be taking some of these. These are alcohol-free ones. Again, I could go on for hours debating the need to have an alcohol wipe versus a non-alcohol wipe. Other than the obvious answer, which is some people don't like alcohol on their skin, and it can slightly retard regrowth in wounds. There's all sorts of things I can go into, but basically, up to 6 hours protection. What happens is, let's say you've got a cut and you put some alcohol on, it kills everything, but then that's it, it's done its job, it doesn't continue to kill germs. So sometimes when you're out in the field, you need something that can continually kill germs. The chemicals in this will do that, which I find useful, and you can use them in wound treatments and things like that. So put that over there. I'll also be taking a simple fire starter. This is just a little keychain one. It's very basic, so you'd need really good tinder and kindling for this. But there's a little tungsten carbide head there. If I can get it to focus, there you go, tungsten carbide head there, and you run it along the striker. I'm not going to do it because I don't want the carbide to go on fire, but very handy, and it's just a redundancy method. I will be taking a lighter because I like to make life easy. You know, you can sit there banging 2 sticks together and for 4 hours and sometimes get nothing, so always take backups. I'll also be taking some toothpicks. It might sound absolutely stupid, but you're out in the middle of nowhere and you get meat stuck in your mouth, and it's very irritating, and it can add and add, and it has a cascade effect. You've got a sore foot, right? You've got something stuck in your teeth. You've been scratched by a nettle, and all these things can gradually wear you down. So always take some floss. It's good dental hygiene anyway. And I'll always take a handful of rubber bands. It might sound stupid, but they've got multi-purposes. If you're going to do this though, always give them a check, because they do degrade over time. So give them a good check every time you take them out, because after a few years they sort of lose their suppleness and they'll crack. So always check them before you take them. Always take a couple of pairs of spare laces, because if you're in the middle of nowhere and you lose a lace, it's extremely irritating. And unless you want to sit and weave new laces from you know, plant matter, which takes hours, and you've got to dry it out, you really need some extra laces. I'll also be taking a couple of mosquito headnets. These are dead cheap ones. They're actually green. I've found through my testing that Green's good if you're sitting around, but black is better if you're walking. That's just what I've found anyway. It's less irritating on the eyes. You see through it and you ignore the fact that it's there, but always take a couple in case they get a hole. On that subject anyway, I'll be taking DEET. So this is maximum strength. Well, it's not maximum strength. I think it's 50% DEET. There's loads of things you can take to stop the mosquitoes and biting insects, but my advice would be just get DEET. It always works. It's been laboratory tested for many, many, many years. It's used in the army because it works. Yes, you can get these, Ponzi ones, oil of eucalyptus and coconut, this, that, until it. Just get DEET. It works. It's as simple as that. Now, some people sometimes say, what strength do I need to get? The strength dictates how long it's going to last. In other words, if you're going to be out for all day, you want at least a 50% or higher. It just means you don't have to reapply it. The only issue with DEET is you need to keep it away from certain equipment. It can degrade them. But other than that, just keep it away from your mouth. Don't breathe it in, and it does the job. It works. It's as simple as that. Okay, and I'll also be taking some 50 plus sun factor. Again, the 50 just stands for how much of an hour that's going to negate the effects of UVB, UVA, and this is UVB, UVA, as you can see there. Just get the highest you can, then you don't have to put on as much and it lasts longer per hour. Just take a little one. I'll also be taking a Afterbite. I think this is ammonia based. Ammonia and glycerin. Basically, you just stick that on after a bite when it's nettles or an insect, and it's got like a little dabber. It's like a little bingo dabber there. You just stick that on and it does the job. So pop that there. And then as in cutlery, I always take backups, because what happens is you put something down and you lose it. So there's a spork here which has a serrated edge for cutting, and on the other end it also has a spoon, so that's handy to have. And then I've also got this from, I think it's CRKT, which make decent knives. You're probably not going to use this out in the wild, are you? Unless you're trying to take a car to bits, but it's handy to have, and that's handy for attachment. You can open bottles with it, and it's very simple, and that's like a spork, but titanium. So put that over there. I'll also take a backup set, which is very cheap but effective. So in this one, you get this. So just cheap stainless steel, a spoon and a fork, that's all you need. It's not meant to be comfortable, and put them in there. And also learn to use chopsticks. If you can learn to use chopsticks, it means you can just pick up a few twigs and make your own with a knife. So it's a skill I would recommend learning. Okay, so put them away, and here's just some. These are sealed cotton Q-tips, as Americans would probably call them, cotton tips here, and these are medically sealed, just for wounds and things like that. So put them out the way. I'll show you some other medical type things. Diarrhea treatment. You're probably thinking, what's the chances of needing that? Trust me, take it, because it ups the ante when you're trying to look after yourself if you've got diarrhea. So diarrhea treatment. Two different types of painkiller. I've got an ibuprofen, which is primarily for reduction of swelling, but it still does the job, and paracetamol. I forget what they're called in America. I think it's something like Tylenol, or is that Tylenol? I forget. But paracetamol are handy, and they can reduce temperature. Also, I'll be taking the obvious, which is toothpaste, because you have to keep up on your dental hygiene, and a antibacterial. This is a dual action, so it's antibacterial and it's an anesthetic, so that kills everything. So put that on as much as possible if you get scrapes and things like that, because when you're in the dirt, you're just going to get infected. I'll also be taking, I always have this in the car anyway, but this is premetherin based. I don't know if it says on here, actually. It should do, but it's premetherin based. So unlike DEET, don't spray this on your skin. It's for clothes. The whole point of this is if you're going in deep grass, which happens in Scotland, it prevents ticks from crawling up your leg. What happens is they go on the material, within about 6 to 8 seconds they drop off and die. Absolutely, I've never found anything more effective to stop ticks. I mean, obviously tuck your socks into your pants and wear gaiters and things like that, but this just knacks them, absolutely knacks them. So this particular brand, you don't have to get this brand, is Life Systems, and it's the EX4 Plus anti-mosquito they call it, but it kills everything. Clothing, footwear and outdoor gear. Protects against mosquitoes, midges and other biting insects, but you really need to be applying it to your clothes before you go out. I'll also be taking some backup fuel. This is just, we call terps anyway, methylated spirits, and it's purple there. You can use, I mean, I use an alcohol burner. You can use alcohol, but the higher the alcohol content, you get a hotter flame, but you also get a lot of black coming off on your pots. Whereas I find this burns slightly less aggressively, but you get less black soot coming off. So I prefer this, and it smells quite nice. I'll also be taking the Grayl bottle. I think I've done a review for this before. It's not only a water filter, it's a water purifier. So this purifies bacteria, Cryptosporidium, Giardia. It goes all the way down to a virus level of filtration. In other words, it's a purifier. So it works pretty simple. I'll just open it up. You've got this container, and then there's the filter on the bottom. So what you do is you fill that with water, and then you put this in, and then you see it's got a hole in the middle, and then you push that down, boosh, fresh water comes through here, ready to go. Unlike drops and pills, you don't have to wait 4 hours. Unlike boiling, you don't have to have fire. So very handy, and it's only about 400 grams, so I'm happy for the bulk. So stick that there. I'll also be taking some tools and lights, obvious stuff, so I'll take them out and then I'll explain what they are and what their purpose is. So take these all out. There. Okay, these are just molly pouches that I use to put on the backpacks. I'll be taking this, which is just a standard cheapo folding saw. I can't remember the brand. I think it's a Norwegian or a Swedish one, but very handy. So it pops out, and it just means if you're trying to break down smaller logs and wood, it's not an issue. You don't have to be worrying about batoning with huge knives like Rambo, and it's relatively safe because it locks in place. So great piece of kit, so I'll be taking that. Also Leatherman Blast. It's got all the tools on that you need. I mean, I'm probably not going to need a screwdriver, but you've got this, which you might laugh and say, well, when you're going to need a pair of pliers. Believe it or not, even to get spelks out, it's handy. Or for cooking, if you need to pick up a hot cup or pan, it's very, very handy. And there's a little knife in there, which is handy just for preparing food. So that's really handy. Never underestimate a multi-tool. So put that there. What else have we got? There's a couple of headbands here for headlamps. Now I'll put them to one side. So the two that I'm going to take are the Armytek Wizard Pro V3, which is absolutely excellent. It's waterproof up to 10 meters, and this isn't going to break. And because I'll be taking a battery pack like this, it just means I can charge straight away with one of these. So you just bring it close, bang, there you go, and it charges. So then I'll just do that, and I'll just plug into here. I'll show you, and then bang, you see it, there it's charging. Okay, so very, very handy. And I will be taking that battery pack. This is only a 10,000 milliamp hours, but you can get bigger ones, but then it's more weight. So do you really want more weight? Same with the Olight. This is the Nova, which, if you notice, they're both TIRs, because I'm not interested in getting distance when I'm cooking food and going to the toilet. So TIRs just for close range stuff. So put them in there. The Olight also has a similar magnetic base charger there, so keep them. And just for hand use is the Olight M2T Warrior. So very, very bright, but very simple, and it has beacons and stuff. You'll get about 1600 lumens easy out of that. Really good piece of kit, and it's a orange peel in case I need to get distance. Also a simple knife. It's a Spyderco, so it's got the Spidey hole, so you can deploy it one-handed, no problem. It's got a little gimp in here, so you can really press down on it if you want to make good cuts. This has been an invaluable piece of kit. Never had any problems with it. I highly rate Spyderco because of the flat grind. I prefer a flat grind. You can get all these exotic grinds, but this is best for cutting. There's nothing in the way of the actual cut that you want to make. So a really nice piece of kit, and this is a slip lock, as you can see, rather than a locking one, which means you're not going to fall foul of some of the laws. You can say, look, I'm using this for cooking, it's a slip joint and it's under 3 inches for the UK, which is absolutely fine. So there you go, a nice piece of kit. I'll also be taking plastic bags. You might laugh, but if you've got nowhere to sit, you need something waterproof to sit on. And just a cheeky cushion. You don't really need to take these. I would recommend, instead of taking this, you just take a fleece and fold it over, but it's there anyway. It's very lightweight. And simple footwear, just a simple pair of Gore-Tex shoes. You're better off with Gore-Tex because it means you're going to keep a bit of waterproofing and keep your feet comfortable. Let's have a look. And then you've got a simple sleeping bag here. It's nothing special. I mean, comfort level, you're generally okay as long as it doesn't go, I would say, about 12-ish. Any lower than that and you can start feeling it in your feet. I certainly wouldn't use this for -10. You'd be in serious pain, but you could do it. So just a simple one. It's not really the weather for massive ones. Simple cook set. You've probably seen this before on the Thrumpton Woods video. Very simple. I don't really want to take it completely out, but you've got a cup here with folding handle, and it's got a non-stick finish, which I like. And as you can see, it's getting a patina now from all the fires and things, but that comes off easy enough. I would recommend you always get black cookware because you tend to use less fuel to heat them up. It's just facts of science, basically. And just a cheeky fire starting kit. So Vaseline pads. I've got a lighter and things in there. And there's my cheapy knockoff alcohol stove there, which is fine. It's got some alcohol in there, so I don't really want to open it at this moment in time. So that's very, very straightforward. So we'll get that in there. And I'll be taking a very, very, very lightweight sleeping pad. So this is the Thermarest Z Lite. I'll try and give you a profile shot there. So as you can see, it's basically just like packing material, really. But the reason I like to take this is because you don't need to worry about seating. You can half unfold it and use it as a seat. So that's a good use I find for it. And then I just use these to attach to the bottom of a backpack. It's extremely light, very, very, very light. And it just means, yes, you can get lighter, you can get these pump up ones, but you're looking at 150 plus to get a decent one. So no thanks. And it's silvered, so it helps with insulation. I think that's about it. I'll also be taking a lip balm. You can use that for fires and stuff, and always get one with a sun factor protection in. They're just handy to have. I'll also be taking one of these, which is to remove ticks. You've got a small one there or a big one there. Basically, I mean, I don't really want to rabbit on and on and on about ticks, but you can use this to obviously view it up close. There's your little magnifier. Be careful with ticks. Get rid of them straight away, but keep calm. Just stop what you're doing and slowly and carefully remove it. Get these under the head and then slowly get it out. Don't pop it and start stabbing it and cigarettes. Don't do any of that because you're pushing their guts back into your body. And if they've been on there long enough, there's a risk of Lyme's disease, because some of them carry Lyme's disease, and if they're on long enough, you can get it in the bloodstream and it causes big problems. So maybe consider one of these or a pair of tweezers. I prefer these to tweezers because with tweezers it's easy to kill the animal, and then you don't want to distress it. You just want to get in under and slowly get it out, and then boosh, get rid of it. And then obviously if you have had a tick on, check for, like bullseye type rashes and things. It may suggest that you have something like a bacterial infection, which could be Lyme's disease. So that's not what this video is about. I'll be taking a few 3-in-1 coffees, so I don't have to bother with daft AeroPresses and tea bags and things like that. But I will be taking the rubbish home, so it's not an issue. And that's it. So I just wanted to cover some of the basics. I mean, I'll be taking a few of these and a few plasters and other medical items, which I'm not going to go into because it will be boring. So I just wanted to show you some of the things that I'll be taking, and I'll be slapping them in the backpack there and doing a little bit of wild camping in Scotland. camp is set up. Let's see who's in here. Oh, I've discovered someone in camp. How's it going? Oh, torch, I like it. You've got to have the lumens. It's all about the lumens. Look what we've just cooked. Look at that. Authentic Mexican. And we definitely didn't get them out of a packet, honest. Look at that. We made it to the top. So we're at Loch, a little bit of cheeky wild camping. We've come along to Rob Roy MacGregor's grave.
Yeah, so your ancestor.
One of my ancestors, aye. Far removed, you know.
Rob Roy MacGregor. So it's just down.
Just down there. Should I show them?
Yeah.
In fact, I'll show you last. So we'll just need to talk. How did you find the wild camping? Were you too cold?
Well, I can still smell
Still
bonfire
smell
in my hair. I really enjoyed it. Got a wee bit cold during the night, but that's why I had my hat.
Yeah,
But
hat and gloves, double socks.
Absolutely layered up with my Rab,
Yeah,
which are great jackets.
can't
so
go wrong. You must
got
take
my
at
Rab.
least a fleece, and preferably
I've got that, and
yeah.
I've got that. So we've just walked up quite a big hill there, so to get to where we are.
To get to Clan McLaren's Cairn.
There's probably steam coming off me as well, but anyway, yeah, so the camping was good. Really enjoyed that. We had an absolutely beautiful view on Loch. You know, and there's, as it gets dark at night, you see all the little campfires.
Very quiet. There was no sort of loud music or anything. In the distance we heard someone talking, but I think they were fishing. But I know nothing about freshwater fishing.
Considering it is like a, you know, a busy weekend and things, so
Yeah.
but no, it was lovely. It was really, really nice. I'm just taking this view. This is absolutely
I'll show you the
beautiful,
view.
this
So I'll show you the view. So come over here, so I can get the view. This isn't widescreen, but here we go. I'll go around so you can see it. There you go, there's the view, and the sun's still out, believe it or not, because there was a mystery sighting of a big ball of fire in the sky, but we worked out it was the sun, because you don't always see that in Scotland, do you?
You see this tree I've just discovered. Looks like it's been hit by lightning, look. Look at the zigzag all the way up. You can actually see all the way through it.
I'm knackered. Right, we're going to be quick because it's sweating and I've got the door open. But can you just tell people what you can see out the car window?
Just rolling hills. Oh, look at the peak of that one up
Wow.
there. That mountain.
That might be Ben
Hills,
Bollock or whatever.
mountains, call it what you like, but
Glens.
absolutely peaceful.
Beautiful, bright sunshine. And listen, a little trickle of water and that's it.
And birds.
And some birds' eyes tweeting away. So let's give this a mark out of 10. Now, tell you what you're marking. So what you're marking is we well camped and then we visited just round the corner, not far, Rob Roy MacGregor's grave, and then you can
Balquidder,
and you can walk up the hill. It's not a mountain, up the hill to McLaren. It's a
McLaren.
Yeah. So very beautiful. So marks out of 10 in total.
I think for the tranquility of it, because we both, have quite sort of busy jobs and things. So for me, it was nice just to get away for that reason, for the peace and quiet. I enjoyed the camping last night.
Yes.
My hair.
We cooked bacon. We've still got some sausages. We cooked bacon, and we were trying to melt chocolate, but it was unsuccessful.
Snickers over there
on a stick.
over the.
What you need is those. Have you ever seen it when Chinese chefs sometimes do stuff in the way they've got like cooking, almost like tongs, but they're chopsticks and they're dead long and they can reach in and get stuff. So we need that next time. But you live and learn.
I tell you what, you've never appreciated a bath in all your life, so that's what I'm going home to now.
See, I'm not bothered. I'm like a dog.
Just because I can smell it.
The fire
in my hair.
Because we had the fire going for
under the nails are
5 or 6 hours.
So, but no, I really enjoyed it. It's nice. There's just something about having, feeling the outdoors and being free. And the good thing about Scotland is there's a lot of places you can wild camp.
And I would, just what you were saying there, the feeling of the outdoors, I would suggest it's a change of pace. When you're in a house, it's like, oh, is it time to make a meal? Right, it's time to do this. Right, oh, the program's coming on. What about work? Whereas here, you're ruled by nature, and you
want to take your time, and you want to take everything in and see everything. So, but no, I would give it 8.5. A really good 8.5.
I'm going to give it 9 because I can't complain.
The only reason I'm not giving it up to 9, and this isn't anything to do with the area, when I was in my sleeping bag last night, I was a wee bit chilly on the top part, so I pulled the toggle right up, so it was just a wee face poking out the top.
And mine didn't fit, so it only came up to my
armpits. Going on.
Snoring? Well, that must have been a hedgehog or something, not me.
So yeah, but no, it was. I really enjoyed it.
8.5, and then 9 from me. And you can hear the little birds there.
Yeah. So all in all, get yourself here. Balquidder is where Rob Roy's grave is. We were at Loch camping.
But this whole area is fantastic.
Really nice.
Absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything we've passed has been beautiful.
We haven't even scratched the surface of seeing what's out here. So, but excellent.
And quite interesting, we passed a house and I said, isn't that a quaint Scottish thing? And there was what looked like a rabbi, actually, like a Jewish rabbi. And he was just sitting, but he was just sitting all peaceful, and the birds were tweeting, and you had the lovely backdrop. I thought, isn't he lucky being able to live there? I'm just going to shut the door because there's a car coming. But we'll wrap this up. So 8.5, 9, I'm going to have to say it. We've done it.
So get out.
So get out. Please get out, because life's short, so please get out. So I hope you
enjoy nature.
Exactly, enjoy nature because it's free. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.